Coming out of the nightmare abyss of the piney woods of East Texas, the Random Horror Show, the best in commentary and reviews in horror, sci-fi, fantasy, cult classics, and the obscure from film, television shows, and literature. Join our horror hostess, Keisha Lacey, as she is scary, but random, horrific, but funny. Last but not least, she will chill you to the bone.
Hello, and welcome back to the Random Horror Show. I am your horror hostess, Keisha Lacey, and thank you all for joining me on this randomest podcast coming straight up out of the Piney Woods, known as East Texas. Well, my spookies, I have a guest for y'all and I'm excited to interview him. And he has a movie that is out called Evil Lurks that is on Tubi. He is an actor, writer, director, and a musician. So he's not only a triple threat, he is like talented. Give it up, everybody. The wonderful Chris Shern. How you
Oh yeah,
doing?
I'm
Oh,
good,
hold
good,
on, hold
good.
on.
Oh,
Look. Let Bobby Foster.
yeah,
Yes! Yes! What's
that's my
up?
thing. Yeah.
Oh,
uh,
dear. It is
like
a
the,
pleasure to have you on the Random Horror Show.
it's a pleasure of being on your show. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Chris, tell everybody, all of my spookies, like who you are, your hobbies, and everything else, because I want them to know who you are.
Well, my name is Chris Shern. I am a film maker, a musician. I play music in a band called Invisible Cartoons. Plug plug. Um, I obviously I'm really into movies. I love horror movies. I really got locked into doing horror movies, movies in general, probably like 12 years ago. Really getting locked into it, buying a camera, and learning the ropes of everything. I don't really know if I have any hobbies. I like watching movies. It's like you people can recording, making music is a hobby, but we actually go out, play shows, and we do okay for each other. We're okay for ourselves for like the independent, realm DIY. So I do all right doing stuff, playing shows and recording other artists and all that stuff. Um, I'm married. I got two young kids, a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. They're my life, obviously.
Mhm.
But I love art. I love being around artistic people. I love having conversations like this with people doing podcasts and supporting independent films, especially horror. Um, Man, I don't know if I really have a hobby. I think playing music and watching movies and all that stuff, people could say that's a hobby, but that's like my air. That's my passion. So yeah. I mean, I guess my hobby is I like finding random things and putting them together. I'm not a hoarder. I find little trinkets and get crazy glue and then try to make little like things with it. So I guess that could
You
be
be
my
trying to
hobby.
MacGyver it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a guy. Yeah.
Just MacGyver and stuff. It's
So
like, oh, look, it's a paperclip. Oh, it's a
uh,
battery.
right. Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. You see random things. You say, "Oh, that looks like something," and then you just kind of piece it together. And yeah. So yeah. So I think that's my
Awesome.
that's my
Awesome.
that's I guess that's my hobby.
Well, like, you being a musician, and I love live music. I've been a like I was a band nerd. I'm still like a band nerd till the day I die, ride or die right there. And I
Yeah.
love like going to see live shows, especially bands. And I like how people still are into their music, and it doesn't matter what between like whatever stage that you are in life. You're married, you have smaller kids,
Mhm.
all of that, but you still go out there, you rock out with your cock out with your tunes, and you have a good time, and there's nothing like wrong with that. And I support like musicians, like those that do, because like some of us can't get to the concerts,
Yeah.
but we always appreciate a really good live band. And it's just it's music is music, and it's very important. And
Yeah.
and I just appreciate that you do that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what would you like?
I've been doing it for like 30
Mhm,
years, a long time. So it's like it's interesting when you have younger when you because I started late having children and stuff like that. So it's cool when you have kids and you're especially young kids and you mix that up with playing in being a musician. It helps with time
mhm,
management. So you would think
right.
when you have kids you're probably less busy or less have don't have as much time to dedicate to your art or whatever. But it's just about a balance when it comes to being out there and I'm busier now being a musician and playing music than I was when I didn't have children and responsibilities. But it's all about taking using your time wisely. So yeah,
Right, right.
yeah, I'll never stop
So
making music regardless of what happens.
never,
Yeah.
never stop, never stop. I stopped like playing guitar, and I'm just like, I need to go back to playing guitar.
And you know what?
So,
You can never stop learning. I mean, when it comes to that, like I'll pick mine. I'm a musician. I play trumpet and
mhm,
guitar, but I'm not like great at it. My main thing, I'm a vocalist, performer.
mhm.
But I don't care how old you are. You learn three chords, you can learn 30 songs.
Yeah,
So
you can.
yeah,
You sure
yeah,
can. That's very true. So,
yeah.
what would you describe your music? Because when I was listening to it, it gave me, with the horns, I was like, oh snap! That gave me like some back in the '90s, like ska. Remember like the
Hmm.
ska scene?
Yeah.
It gave me like a little bit of that funk, the little bit of that ska, with
Hmm.
it. And how would you describe like your sound of like how your band is?
So we call our music smile rock. So it's like it's yeah, we call this we've been calling it smile rock since we've been around for 11 years. So
Mhm.
it's a form of rock music mixed with some punk, some ska, some hip hop, some rock, some soul, some funk.
Mhm.
So yeah, we with the all the guys in the band, we have such an eclectic taste in music. We just kind of try to combine it, and mix it up and stuff like that. I mean, I grew up, I'm the typical black kid, that grew up listening to Motown, Michael Jackson, Prince, and all these other things. But I also was in a metal band for like 11 years. And I've also done different projects and stuff like that. I also created like a studio project where it was like kind of folky, soul, bluegrassy, pop type stuff. So I've never been someone
Really?
who was locked into one, type of kind. I mean, I was in a hip hop group at one point in the early 2000s. So I've always been all over the place. But with this band, is very upbeat, very positive. We play. We try to be as positive as possible. Like I said, we call our music smile rock. This is our logo and invisible cartoons. So, and we're very into like intergalactic like sci-fi stuff. So yeah, this is kind of like natural when I do this all the time. So it's like we're in the sci-fi, we're in the old school type stuff like that. So yeah, our music. I mean, the new album. We're working on a new album, which is coming out this hopefully late spring, early summer. But it's
Okay.
so diverse. It's so diverse in what we're doing, and like yeah, I'm really excited to show people what we're doing, and we're gonna and it kind of falls into what I'm doing as a filmmaker because our stuff is very our
Hmm.
this stuff moving forward. It's gonna be very cinematic, so we're gonna add those aspects to it, and then one of our last album, Space Cat, was an EP. We're gonna incorporate that
Hmm.
whole vibe into a feature length film. So we're gonna make these little videos to kind of introduce everything into everything. But the name of the new album is called Sci-Fi Disco Carnival. So there's always like a theme. So when you see the stuff that we're doing, I think you're gonna have a good time. And then I honestly I enjoy making horror movies. So yeah. So no, it's
Yeah,
yeah, it's
that's another genre that I'm really big into is sci-fi, the
yeah,
science fiction, horror science fiction, just regular science fiction, fantasy, just some genres of science fiction because I grew up on
yeah,
Star Trek
yeah.
and Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, all of that stuff, right? Doctor Who.
Oh, I love Doctor Who.
Yeah, I'm a Whovillian. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
Whovillian. But
yeah.
I like that you did, you blended a lot of those different genres in your music
Mhm.
because, and like you said, you had an eclectic vibe with like everybody that has like a different style, especially home dude on that bass.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause I was like, wait a minute, he is popping that bass. Doo, 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 doo. I was like, yes. I love bass guitars. I love
Yeah,
bass. I love the bass
and that
because
and that's his
people like
second
the
instrument. Yeah, yeah,
wow, but
yeah.
people
So he
always just like, oh, lead guitars, blah blah. I'm like, no, it's the bass. The
oh,
bass
yeah.
like keep it
It's a
together.
heartbeat.
It's the
Heartbeat.
glue. It
Mhm.
is. It is
Yeah.
definitely the heartbeat. It's the glue to it because you just can't just be dissing the bass player.
Nah,
Yo, like,
nah.
how
He
to?
he brings a lot of good yeah, he brings a lot of good things to the table, so that's what makes it even more exciting. So, yeah, I got a bunch of
And
good guys that I play music with, and that's what's important, like, we have fun. We work hard, but we have fun doing it.
good,
Yeah.
good, good. And also I want to talk about this film right here, Evil Lurks. Now it is written by Aaron Hawkins and you, of
Yes.
course, and it's directed by Aaron Hawkins. So tell everybody about this film, but not too much, but let everybody know about Evil Lurks.
Okay, so Evil Lurks is a psychological horror film. People would put it into the art house category as well because it's very whimsical and weird and abstract or whatever at certain points. So I would say
Mhm.
psychological art house horror film. So it's about a woman named Kimberly who's been through a lot of traumatic things in her life. So she seeks out she goes to a group therapy session, and she's kind of like weary about it. She don't really know if it's going to work, but the hypnotherapist Harold, he kind of like single her out and just kind of like kind of trying to get to know her better and kind of lure her into seeing if he can get these traumatic things out of her, but not knowing what his agenda is. He's possessed by an evil entity known as the Shush Man. So and the name Shush Man is never mentioned in the movie, but that was the
Mhm.
name of the character, with the cloak and stuff like that. So so yeah, so Arrow kind of you know talk Kimberly into having a single therapy session, and then these things start circulating. Then one thing leads to another, and chaos ensues. And yeah, it's a crazy ride that happens where things happen where Kimberly has a child, and when she
Mhm.
has the child, she gives the child up for adoption, and so like things are happening between her and Harold. Harold did some things that was uncalled for in result to her having
Mhm.
a child, and it was like, and it happened 15 years ago, and then 15 years later, the dark entity, the Shush Man, comes back and wants wants the child based on things that
Mhm.
he was doing to Harold to get the things he needed in order to create this dark place. So that's, I mean,
Yes, and
it's a lot of twists and turns and a lot of like things and hidden things all around the movie. So it's one of those kind of movies. So that's the best I can do to kind of get people to start watching, and then
it's one of
hopefully
them.
at the end they're like, oh
It is. It's one of them movies. It really is because I wanted to beat the shit out of Harold. He was so unprofessional. I wanted to fight him all through this dang movie. Like, bro, what is wrong with you? Like, number one, like, you don't take your patient to let's go have a drink at the bar. And then like and when you're playing Harold.
yes, I
And
played Harold.
so when you was at the bar scene, yeah, you was at the bar scene and everything, and then of course she was talking about John Travolta like in Pulp Fiction that
Yeah,
she
yeah,
got very sad, very emotional, and then you
yeah.
start doing this blinking stuff like that. And I was like, stop blinking! Quit messing with your face! Stop blinking! What are you doing?
oh, oh man, that's awesome. I'm glad you noticed that. People, you know what? People don't ask me. You're awesome because people don't ask me the whole thing. Like, what's with the blinking? They never really asked me that about the whole blinking thing. But that obviously that was a one of his what's the word I'm thinking of, like a twitch, like a
Mm-hmm.
tick. Is Yeah, like it was his tick. The thing about the whole
Mm-hmm.
blinking so much, if he kept his eyes still, the red glow in the eye in his eyes would probably appear, and he didn't want her to notice that stuff. Now, obviously, we know what happened with the red glow in his eyes and all that stuff. So that was his whole thing. Like if he kept blinking his eyes, to kind of keep him like from staying still. Especially how we shot it, because
Mm-hmm.
we had a lot of shots where you just kind of the characters looking at the camera, so it's like a real close up. So he was just kind of like trying to. So I developed the whole tick thing where he's like, just making sure his eyes don't stay still, because they stood still, she'll kind of. Harold's a bad person. Don't get me wrong, but Harold had this entity inside of him where he's like, I don't really want to do this, man, but you singled me
Mm-hmm.
out to do this. Because the scene when he's in the bathroom when he's spitting
Yeah.
the blood out, yeah, I mean he's tortured
Mm-hmm.
by all of this. So yeah,
Yes, he
in the bar
is.
scene,
He
the
really
whole eye
is.
thing was pretty much him trying to not reveal what was going on with him. So yeah,
And he
yeah,
also hypnotized the waitress also. And
yeah.
then Kimberly didn't even catch on. I was just like, girl, you didn't catch on. Like, what the heck he just did? I'm like, shit, girl, you better run out that place. I'm like, Mr. Man is not good. Mr. Harold is not good. You just don't get a drink with your professional like psychiatrist and they put you under hypnosis. Then he blinking and shit and everything. Like, girl, you need to go find you another provider. You have options. But it makes like a really good, but it thickens the plot of how Harold is and how he has this interaction with Kimberly, and Kimberly goes through all sorts of hell, throughout this movie. I mean, even where you had the dry eraser board, and that was like a symbolism right there. And I was
Yeah,
wondering, like, did anybody catch that about the dry eraser board?
yeah. Yeah, if yeah, I mean that's another question. Yeah, people didn't break that down. I think a lot of people broke down how crazy Harold was and just the stuff Kimberly was going through. But I love that you, yeah, the yeah, because we seen the dry eraser board, pretty much circulating throughout the whole movie, especially when she walked into the,
Mm-hmm.
also Kimberly played by Amanda Winston, who's a phenomenal actor. She's my homie. She'll be in my next film, which I hope we can talk about a little bit, as we go.
Awesome.
But yeah, yeah, I mean, she had the whiteboard, and then obviously when she erased it, she was like, what was that all about? And then she kind of explained, maybe it's something, I can't memorize what all I wrote or whatever. But yeah, she's just like,
I know, I know.
oh yeah. So yeah, yeah, it's definitely a huge metaphor throughout the whole movie and stuff like that. And obviously the number 22 that was on the whiteboard definitely had there was a goal for that number. There was something happening with that number as well. So yeah, it
Oh,
was
see, I didn't catch that right there. I didn't catch that, but I did catch the. I caught a couple of things
mhm,
with it. It does have like you had like I noticed that the style of like your camera angles, especially within the latter scenes of the movie, where you have the three splits of like each character,
yeah,
and then it goes into the Hitchcockian black and white, which
yeah,
that was I was like, whoa, holy shit, with the daughter Erica, and then
yeah,
of course her foster parents, and they're having this argument, and I was like, Tiffany, really? You gotta be all like that with Erica because she has a right to know about what happened to, her mom,
yeah,
and that's like a very sensitive subject, particularly because my mom, she was adopted
yeah,
herself,
yeah,
and it gets a little bit, it's very sensitive. And when my mom met her biological mother
mhm,
when she was like in her 20s,
mhm,
and I noticed that was a little bit, it was really sad. But she made terms with it, she accepted it, and
yeah,
she was there for her mother whenever she passed away, the same with her adopted mom.
yeah,
But the whole black and white, I was just like, wow, that was very fascinating of how you did that. Y'all did that scene with the black and white, and then of
mhm,
course, like you had like the characters later on when there was like a battle showdown of like a three split screen. So I've
yeah.
never seen nothing like that unless it's like a big, huge, budget film. But like y'all did the damn thing with that.
I
I
appreciate
was
it.
very impressed.
I
I was very
appreciate it.
impressed.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we the process of this movie took. We started writing the script
Hmm.
late late 2018, and then we really got locked in with the script around April of 2019, and then we shot all the footage from May of
Hmm.
2019 to December of 2019. And then we started editing and putting things together, and we had to figure a lot of things out on our own because we didn't have any. This movie, and I'm not afraid to say this because like this movie cost less than $1,000 to make, and we had a lot of volunteers. We had a lot of people help us out, and a lot of my friends, my buddy Nick Grove, who did all the hallway stuff that Amanda was in, all that stuff was shot in
Hmm.
where you see this backdrop right here. All that stuff was shot in my basement, and then he composite all the stuff for the hallway stuff. But we did, and I took 4 months to learn how to do all the eyeball stuff and the lights and the weird stuff
Yeah.
around Rich, the creepy old guy played by Bill D. Russell, which I hope you have him on your show one day because he's a phenomenal human being, and a great interviewer and all the crazy stuff. I learned how to do all that. I learned like between me, Eric, my friend Eric Schwab, and Nick Grove,
Hmm.
we did all the visual effects and stuff like that. And yeah, it was a lot of work. And everybody who was acting in it, they all volunteered their time because we had this
Yeah.
movie. I'm like, we got this movie. We got no money. Y'all want to be a part of it? We can only shoot on the weekends. It was a couple of weekday stuff. But yeah, besides the Shush Man outfit, which was a Kylo Ren suit that I got tailored to fit me right because I played Shush Man and I played all the. And if you
Hmm.
see the shadow things running around, that's me. You'll never see the behind the scene footage of that because I was in my tidy whities in a green screen. So, it's like I was like, nope, nobody's seeing this good. So it's so no, we had no money, but was ambitious as hell, and
Yeah.
we did a lot of like we try to be as creative as possible. That's things I can look at and say I wish we could have done better, but at the end of the day, you know, with what the time we put in, the dedication we put in, the lack of money that we had to be as creative as we
Yeah.
possibly could. I'm proud of this, and I'm very happy that you break it. This is not a movie. This is not a movie that you can watch once and say, all right, I got everything that just happened. Because some people were just like, I don't get it. I'm confused. It went back and stuff. Because some people even said, this was she hypnotized at the beginning of the movie? Right when he snapped a finger or something, was she already locked in to the world? And that's why things happen the way. Did she get hypnotized when the bartender got hypnotized? So it's a lot. And the thing about that whole
Hmm.
situation is like what just happened with that? Because it goes into this whole big, she's singing and all this stuff, but she look at her he cuts back her looking at her at the bar, like, what the hell is she doing? Because the audience see her in this dark red space singing and stuff like that, but a man, Kimberly's looking at her, just looking at her like, what the hell is she doing at the bar?
Yeah.
It's a lot of twists and turns, and I think this movie, and I just because it would be nice if people watched it more than one, but I think it's a two watch type of movie. I think you gotta find all the clues and point it out and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate you paying attention to like all the details and stuff that we did because we were trying to be clever as much as we possibly can. And I think when I hear you say stuff like that, it gives me a good feeling because that's a prime example of don't think you need name actors or a big budget to try to be as creative as you can with what you're doing. So I appreciate that.
Right.
Yeah.
And because horror, even like when people like when it started being big budget, all of that right there, the franchises. I mean, there's like so many great movies that has been made with a shoestring budget. Take for
Mhm.
instance, Evil Dead. You
Yeah.
know, that was on a shoestring budget. They ran out of money. They had to come up with some more money, and then they had
You saw
to
that
shoot the
documentary
rest
too.
of it like within two.
Yeah.
Was like 2 years or something.
Yeah.
To finish up the rest of Evil Dead. There's been plenty of horror films that has done that, and you gotta have that passion. And I think to me it's more if you're so passionate about the art, the creativity, the way how everybody puts their time into the acting, the script and all that, you can still have like a great movie even though it's on a shoestring budget or whatever, an
Mhm.
expensive budget. Then you can have like a shitty horror movie that has like a
Right.
big budget and big names and all of that.
Yeah.
It just shows and just see. You have to look through like the audience have to look and see like, okay, I understand why this movie is a cult classic. I understand why this movie is great versus a film that has all this, panache extravagance and all of these good cool CGI effects and all of that
Yeah.
right there too, because you can pull off some real good effects. Just you just have to know, like, or have somebody that knows how to do really good special effects with it. And
Yeah.
with the special effects that y'all have in here, I was like, okay. And it gave me that weird, ooky, creepy, X-Files, type of vibe.
Yeah.
And also when Kimberly was in the hallway, it felt a little bit like The Cell. Remember the movie The Cell with Jennifer Lopez and
Oh yeah, yeah,
Vincent
yeah, yeah.
D'Onofrio? It gave me that, bro. I was like,
That was one of my influences of the landscape of what I wanted to try to do with the backdrop. Obviously, we couldn't repeat what they did because they had a studio. So it's like, how can we take these green walls that I painted and then light it up with some lights that I got from Home Depot, and then get my buddy and have him composite this atmosphere, because the that room is the catalyst, is the umbrella of everything that Kimberly is going
mhm,
through. Like that's the main, like, Shishman's not the main entity that happens in this movie. Like, Kimberly is the focal point. And that hallway and that area is definitely her. This is the fortress of her mind. And the thing, and those doors
mhm.
represented something. So, going through all those doors ended up being a beautiful thing, and most of the time being a nightmare. So, and it's funny you brought up Evil Dead, because there's a scene in Evil Lurks that Evil Lurks, Evil Dead. So there's a scene in Evil Lurks where the first time you see, Erica, played by Savannah Mae, where smoke is coming out of her mouth, she's laying in bed, and you see like the shadow monster kind of running towards the house or whatever. We took a lot and she was running in the woods and then running
Mhm.
into the house. That whole setup scene where the is going through the trails of this woodsy area. We took that from Evil Dead. Because that's like one of the most iconic scenes, where the thing is, you don't see the monster, but you see this thing going into the freaking room. And it's amazing how they
Yes.
did that scene. They took a 2x4 and they nailed it, and they
Mhm.
nailed the camera on there, and then the guy just kind of went, and he just pressed it, started running, and then that's how they did that whole scene. So now you got rigs like that cost thousands of dollars, but it's like, just get a 2x4 and then slap it on the camera and then go.
Yeah.
You're not filming that. You're filming the action of what's going on. So when you got these people spending all this money on gear and stuff, like, you can make that. You can go to Home Depot and make that for like $20. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm really into a lot of old
Basically.
horror movies. So a lot of things you mentioned with Hitchcock and all that, that definitely resonated to what I try to do, even with the coloring. Um, I don't know. You've heard of you're a horror fan. So you know her Jello films. Italian, like, horror kind of
Yes,
Jello film. Very very red,
I've
thick.
been on those. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I've been on those for like a week or two now. Like I just
yeah,
like just been like binging those.
yeah. So a lot of the color grading from Evil Lurks is definitely based on those kind of movies. Yeah. Check out the movie.
Yeah.
Check out the movie Suspiria. If you check out the movie Suspiria, that definitely was an influence of the coloring of what I try to do with the coloring for Evil Lurks.
Green, blue, red
Yeah,
was like the main colors that I seen through Suspiria. Yes,
yeah,
I watched all. I love the old one.
yeah,
And I seen the new one. They
yeah,
did the remake is a little different,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like the
Oh,
colors in Suspiria was like that green, and
hmm,
you had that blue, and then it had that red,
yeah,
all through it.
yeah.
I said like the main thing with Dario Argento. Oh, I can't pronounce his name, but a
Dario
lot of his
Argento, I
movies,
think. Yeah,
yes, something like that. Yeah, I be butchering
yeah,
people's names.
yeah,
But I was like, well, his like main thing is like decapitations and like people's heads going through like windows.
yeah, 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 yeah. And dramatic, like, and dramatic scream, like, ah, no. Yeah,
Yes, that right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So
that's
like
selfish.
you have a you have a production company called Kissing Castles. So like how did you come up with that name? Cuz I get when heard Kissing Castles, I'm like Crystal Castles, like the band. By the way, I seen Crystal Castles like open up for Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
But that's the reason I was like that's the reason I was like I need to ask him, how do you come up with Kissing Castles? Is that like Crystal Castles? True.
So I like to be transparent when I answer this question. I woke up
Mhm.
one morning and that name popped in my head. There's no hidden message or deep message on what I did. Just Kissing Castle just kind of like resonated with me. And someone told me that Tom Waits said a lyric that said Kissing Castles in a song. I am a Tom Waits fan, but that wasn't why I came up with the name. It was just a coincidence. But one day, I think it was 2004. Still remember the year. I think it was like 2004. I
Mhm.
woke up one day and and Kissing Castle just popped in my head. And at first, Kissing Castle started as a music production thing where I was writing music under the name Kissing Castles. So,
Mhm.
yeah, wow, yeah, it's going on 20 years now since I had that name. So that's the main thing. I've never there was no deeper meaning. I woke up and it just popped in my head, and it became what it became now. But now it's Kissing Castle Productions is my name. So when you see the opening title, and that's my big dark hands opening up this opening up this castle.
That's a big dark hat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but no, but that, yeah, yeah, but but yeah. Yeah, Kitchen Castle was just a name that came to me 20 years ago, and yeah, is part of what I'm doing. And obviously, I partnered up with Evil Lurks or somebody else, but moving forward,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm doing a lot of things with Kissing Castle, like from the music to the movie stuff. Anything I'm trying to do, it'll definitely be under the Kissing Castle umbrella. When it comes to production.
So, next question I want to ask you, since you have this film, and then of course your production, you know, and all that. So, do you face a lot of challenges of like being an indie filmmaker, and is it very hard to like attract an audience? And also, do you feel that like even though Evil Lurks is on Tubi, do you feel that streaming services can like help out a lot of people that are want to make films because we have a lot of free services like Freebie, Tubi,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Pluto, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, does it hurt us or does it like help us? Versus like people who want to own a physical copy of indie films. What do you think about that? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think I put being a I think I put being a filmmaker in the same category as being a musician. And
Mhm.
I've been actively playing in bands for almost 30 years. So me getting locked into being a filmmaker is kind of the same thing. When you were in a band, you're trying to make records and you're trying to get a record deal and all this other stuff, booking good shows. Being a filmmaker, it's tough. It's tough. Is it hard to make a movie now compared to what it was 15 years ago? No, it's easier to make a movie. Now there's so many movies out there, you got to kind of stand out. There's only so much advice I can give somebody, and there's so much
Mhm.
advice I can take from somebody because I think everybody have their own path. Speaking for me
Mhm.
as a filmmaker, it's tough, but I'm also trying to figure out what I can do and stand out. I think everybody goes to try to stand out, not try to compete against each other, but try to stand out and see what can I bring to the
Right.
table that somebody else didn't bring. I know what kind of movies I make as a filmmaker. Especially being I don't like playing the race card, but I'm a black filmmaker making horror movies. And you don't really see a lot of that. And the type of horror movies I want to make I made, and the horror movies I want to make, it's a different kind of mindset. I do make more artistically, you know, I do make a lot of I do have ideas for psychological concepts within what I do as horror. I don't make slash gut gore, serial killer
Right.
type horror movie. I like that stuff, and if I do make that stuff, there's an angle in what I want, how I want to approach it. I have to
Mhm.
find my base. I have to find my crowd. If I'm playing like I'm playing gigs, I got to find my base. If I'm playing out in Boo-Foo, Boom Boom Boom, and I got to play there 3 times a year because I can get 30, 40 people to come see me play, then that's my base. So when I look at what I'm
Mhm.
doing as a filmmaker, I got to look at what's going to work for me. And that's all I can do. I can't predict who's gonna like my movie or not. Do I think streaming service help? I think streaming services help in a way of getting your movies out there. Do I think you can make money off streaming service? Most likely no. Most likely no. The money that they give you off, off you know, the more commercials you get, especially with commercial stuff and
Mhm.
commercial ads and stuff within your movies, the more commercials you get, the more money you have a chance of making. If 2
Right.
commercials pop up, then yeah. So that's how I make money. So from a standpoint of physical copies, I don't think physical copies are ever gonna go away
Mhm.
from out. Yeah, because my band we put out vinyl and we sell our vinyl and we sell T-shirts and we sell hats and stuff like. We sell these hats, we sell T-shirts, and we sell all these different things. So I got so like I come to show this is my vinyl, this is my band, this is like this Space Cat. So we sell these things. So
Mhm.
I'm a very DIY. I tell people I am a micro budget filmmaker. I'm a DIY filmmaker. I'm a DIY creator. So me personally, I'm gonna create physical copies whether I find a company or not. I'm gonna make physical copies of my stuff regardless of what happens. I'm gonna put it
Yeah.
on streaming service. My stuff is on Spotify. Cool, we got 40 followers. You need a billion streams in order to make maybe 10 grand
Yeah.
from streaming services. And it's the same thing with streaming services with making movies. It's tough. But
Yeah.
you have to find your base. I'm never gonna stop creating, but I have to find my base. I have to find people that I'm gonna, that would, that gravitate to me. So when filmmakers looking for name actors and they doing all that, and the crowdfunding helps when you
Mhm.
successfully do. Because I know a couple of filmmakers who does successful crowdfunding that makes them money. So depending on how they're using the money, you can make something from that. That builds up your base. That builds up people who's like, okay, I'm gonna give you 20, $30 to help you with your crowdfund. And I help with crowdfunds with people. And being a part of something like that can help you build your base and to people when your movie do come streaming, when your movie does go into, when you can sell physical copies, when you can do, because some independents are doing, theatrical releases where they'll put their movie
Yeah.
in the theater for the weekend and stuff like that. So those are all possibilities. Me speaking for myself, moving from Evil Lurks to what I'm doing now is all about what I can control. My movie's gonna be on Tubi. It's gonna be on Freezy. It's gonna be on Amazon. I hope I can build some kind of base where people are, renting the movie or buying the movie or streaming the
Right.
movie, and I see what happens. But there's other entities and there's other avenues that independent filmmakers need to jump on and not just think, all right, let me throw my movie on here and see what happens. Because you gotta be clever. I think merch and I think the image and the vibe of what your movie is about and how you can market that with merch and different things can help you
Mhm.
generate some kind of base and some kind of some kind of vibe for the stuff that you're doing um as a low budget filmmaker.
Yeah.
So
Could you hold on for a sec?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, oh Lord. Let me see. I'm all right. It's just like my battery is about to run dead.
Oh,
So I have this next question for you. Like, how do you define horror? What is horror to you? How do you look at horror?
horror to me is, I think horror can kind of go in many different realms of definition. Um,
Hmm.
Horror's fun. Horror can be fun sometimes, especially and when you look at different like horror movies are so eclectic and so diverse in different styles and stuff like that. It's
Hmm.
it's very, it's like, it's, you have certain movies that kind of could go over the top with the gore and stuff like that. And it's like a haunted house. Like when you go inside a haunted house, you know what to expect. You know somebody's gonna jump out and scare you and stuff like that. So just like, yeah, it's just a matter of the scare. And a lot of movies like to play into the whole jump scare thing, where it's like, oh, okay, whatever. But horror is a it's a very diverse definition. Is it can be gut wrenching. It can be emotional. Like certain movies, I could look at, like Terrifier. Certain that those movies are fun. Those movies are, a clown gonna go out, kill, boom, do extreme stuff, and you're like, oh my god, that's crazy. And we get off on that. That's fun. And we know that's in the screen.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, with the movie I made, Evil Lurks, that horror can happen to anybody. There's a woman who went through loss, who went through death, who went through miscarriages. There's a lot of things. She was raped. So there's a lot of things that's horror in that. And I, and I personally mean, when you talk about real life horror type things, do I want to play around with that? I don't know, because there's just so much crap in the world. I'm I'm a uplifting, positive person, and then I do watch a lot of dark movies, but that's on TV. I don't want to bring that into the world and be like, okay, this is what's going on. But I mean, those type of forms of the type of forms of horror that I talked about in Evil Lurks, yeah, those things are tough to swallow. Those things, a lot of people
Hmm.
can relate to to you know that kind of stuff. So, um, but yeah, I mean, the horror genre is alive and well and so strong. Oh, it's so strong, but it kind of give you, it's hard to define the word horror in one kind of realm because it's in so many different places. But
Yeah.
also with Evil Lurks, we put a supernatural aspect to it, so that's what makes me feel better because there's a sense of absurdity in that movie that
Hmm.
we kind of grab to it. It was an abstract poem. That's how I look at it. You know.
And I
So
still want to fight your character. I still want.
I mean, yeah, yeah. If people look at me and look at that character and say, "Yo, man, that dude was," I'm like, I did my job. So that's I
You
mean,
did.
but once again, when he talked about, she like when Kimberly, when he was talking about the whole Pulp Fiction thing, how did you feel about that movie? Yeah, when Vince Vega got shot, when he died, I felt some kind of way. It's like, yeah, you was hypnotized, you was locked in to the emotions, you was locked into the emotions and what was going on with Harold to the point where it made you angry, like feeling a
Hmm.
sense of love and hatred and pain and suffering. That's what I mean. That's what I've gathered in the research that we did for Evil Lurks, because you're trying to open some things up. You're trying to open up those hallways, those door hallways in your
Yeah.
mind to unlock these things that comes out of you. Horror. The definition of horror is emotion, and I just said it: anger, sadness, pain, suffering. So that's what it's all about. Happiness. I mean, you watch a crazy horror movie, the remake of remake of Evil Dead. When she at the end, I was like, yo, all that blood. I was like giddy. But it's like like, man, are we just dark people? Like, I'm just giddy with just all this blood splash because it was fun. It was a fun sense of whatever.
Yes.
I like the 2013 version Evil Dead better than the current one that just came out. I know people was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." It was cool, but the one in 2013 was like, yeah, that one was fire. I really like, but yeah, horror is an emotion. Horror is
I
that's how
get
I define it. It's emotion.
it is.
Yeah,
It is. It makes you giggle, laugh, cry, mad, everything else. But I used to give like Evil Dead the 2013 one a little bit of shit. But I was like, I was really impressed like with all the gore of it.
yeah,
And I was like, okay, I'm like not bad. Now when I did watch Evil Rise, I watched it in the theater.
yeah.
I loved it. But when I
Oh, I
watched
did
it
too.
on streaming, I was like, I'm bored.
yeah,
I couldn't get into it. And I was like, wait a minute. And
why is
this is
that?
the thing about me. I don't know. I think it was because of the hype of the movie. And I was excited for that movie to come out. And I've seen a lot of things in it that, like, I was like, okay,
Mm,
whatever, you tried. But I enjoyed it.
right.
But when I watched it at home, it was so different. It was
Yeah,
like, I'm like, man, just man. And
yeah,
I mean, it's still, I mean, maybe it was depending on my mood. But
yeah,
the thing with me is that if I watch a horror film and I'm watching it over, 2 or 3 times. And then
mm,
I'll put it down for like a year or two or something like that.
yeah.
And then I'll like, you know what? I need to watch this movie again. And I
Right.
watch it and I enjoy it. So that is to me is like to me that's a good horror movie. If I can still watch it like 5, 10, 20 years down the line,
Yeah.
that's a good movie to me. That's
Right.
good.
Yeah.
But if I watching in the theater and then I get a different reaction when I'm at home. I'm comfortable, with my snacks and chilling,
Yeah.
and I'm not getting that same reaction like I got in the theater. Then I was like, something's going on. What's up? What's up? What's up? So,
Yeah.
have you watched Thanksgiving?
I haven't watched. That's
Have
on
you
my
watched
watch list.
Thanksgiving?
I haven't watched that. Now I heard that movie is fun. It's I'm not the biggest Eli Roth fan. I'm the Hostel and stuff like that. I'm kind of torture porn type stuff. I'm like, and I
Yeah,
don't feel weird about it. I mean, I'm cool with certain elements. Trust me, I'm cool with certain things that I've watched in the past when it comes to stuff like that. But I just, you know, I'm kind of whatever. But I've heard so many good things about this, and they're already doing a sequel. So yeah. Let's talk about horror. That's the fun. That's that fun shit. That's like just like yeah, slasher. So, yeah. So
it's a
I'm
good
cool with
movie.
that.
It's a good. I want to say this right here. My daughter, she's turning 25 this month. We
Okay.
were both like high as hell. We was high as hell watching that movie on Thanksgiving night. And so I
Oh
snuck in
man.
some strawberry cake. I snuck in some
Yeah.
strawberry cake that I made for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, you got the munchies. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and there was like a couple of parts, and then I'm like doing
Uh,
that. I was like, let me put my strawberry cake back in my big purse
yeah.
because this is nasty. It was so gross and
Yeah.
gory that I almost threw up. And I
Wow.
was like, dang. And I'm waiting for this movie to come out because it started off as a fake trailer with Robert
Yeah.
Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino
Yeah.
Grindhouse movie. That was
Yeah.
it just like just watching it for the first time of those Grindhouse movies and seeing that fake trailer, I thought
Yeah.
it was gonna be a real movie. Come find out,
Yeah.
oh, it's fake.
Yeah.
Everybody just been, hey man, you need to make this movie. He said, you know what, let's do the damn thing. Let's make this movie. It
Yeah.
is a fun, gross, gruesome, just nasty, but it was so fun. It was a
Yeah.
fun movie.
Hmm.
And I give it to him to like put a fake trailer to make it into a real life, real
So
horror
so that
movie.
yeah, so that
And
whole vibe that gravitated to you when he did the fake trailer and say, "Oh, wait a minute." That built your curiosity, right? Yeah, that's awesome.
hmm
That's
it
awesome.
sure did, but
Yeah.
he did very well with that movie, and it was really
Oh yeah,
great to watch it on Thanksgiving night. And I
yeah,
was like, yeah, we gotta get this movie, every given. Gotta watch this movie. This is like a holiday. It's like a holiday horror movie. Like it
yeah.
became like so much of a cult, like holiday movie. So
Hmm.
I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
I'm in.
awesome. Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
So
I think it's
Chris, are you
streaming now,
ready
so
for?
I'm definitely gonna check. I'm definitely gonna put that on my list of things to watch. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, they
Me
talking about
too.
they working on the sequel, so there you go. It did what it did.
Hmm
Awesome. Yeah,
He sure did. You know thing right there. Are you ready for some random trivia questions?
cool. Let's do it.
Are you ready? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, let's go with it. So, it's not like you're gonna win any prizes, but I just like to have this for fun for
Well,
everybody.
I already
That's all. Well, thank you
my,
for
my
participating.
prize has been on the show with you, so I'm happy. It's all good.
All right, let's go ahead. Question number one. This Clive Barker short story was turned into a horror film back in the 90s, set in a housing project on the north side of Chicago. What's the name of this movie?
Candyman.
You're correct.
Yeah.
That's right. I told you I'm gonna be a little easy on you. Just a little, just
Oh,
a
that's
tick,
cool.
just a tick.
No, yeah, I'm
All
down.
right. All right, awesome. Second question. All right. In the name and the honor of the late Carl Weathers, name this movie that he started in and part of the soundtrack with a famous group that was back in the 80s. Name this Carl Weathers movie, which had the famous like singers that had a really good hit song back in the 80s. Since you're into
It's a
music,
horror
you
movie.
talking about you went into Motown and all. No, it's not a horror movie. In the honor of like the late Carl Weathers, he was
Oh,
in
okay,
this
okay,
movie.
okay.
Name this. Yes, he was in this movie, and also another bonus point. Name the group that sung a very hit song that went with the soundtrack of this movie that was back in the 80s.
Oh man, was he the lead? Was he the lead actor in the movie? Was it Action Jackson?
That's right.
Okay, so the
You got another
see,
part with it.
it's been so long since I watched that movie. So the name of the song that the famous group was it the
The famous
Temptations?
group. They were really big. Huh? No, they were really big. They were very, very big. It was a girl group.
Oh, Vanity Six.
No, 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 no.
It was a girl group. Oh,
It was a
I
girl
thought it was like
group.
one of
I you
Prince's
know
group.
Vanity. Yeah, yeah, Vanity was in it, but who was it? What did you say?
I thought it was Vanity Six. I thought it was one of Prince's groups.
Nah. No, they didn't. No, Vanity actually did do a song on the soundtrack,
Yeah.
but it was another group was on there.
Did they come out of the
I'll
'80s
give
or
you a
were
hint.
they like, huh?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Was it in wait, Info was
You want
early
me to
night.
give? In Vogue was 90s. You want me to give you a
I
hint?
give up. Give me a hint.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Pointer Sisters.
And that's right. You know the
Okay.
name of the song?
It was
The
okay,
name of
yeah.
the song is the name of the song is He Turned Me Out. He
Oh,
turned
oh,
me, turned me, turned me,
oh,
turned
yeah.
me, turned me out. Turn
Yeah.
me.
Granted, yeah,
Yes.
I haven't seen that movie in like 25 years, so it's been a long time since I'm actually
I
watch. I was sad that he passed because we just saw Mandalorian. I thought he just looked strong and healthy, but you never know what people going through.
that's correct. That's correct. And I like to call Weathers whenever he was, he played Action Jackson,
Yeah.
but he was also in this show that came out in the 90s. It was called Perfect Justice or something like that. It was one of those syndicate shows, and it was filmed
Okay.
in Vancouver. And then of course, whenever the guy who played Tibbs on In Heat of the Night, he replaced him
Yeah.
because Howard was kind of going through a lot of things, and he
Right.
replaced Howard's character Tibbs as the new detective in The Heat
Yeah.
of the Night. And
Okay.
I loved Action Jackson. Like, bro, he like brought it on though. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
man, he was handsome, and he was like
Yeah.
a Predator, and that was like a one.
Yeah.
That's another movie that I love is Predator.
Yeah.
Um, he was like, I think he was in a movie with Pam Grier back in the 70s. The whole black exploitation movie.
Oh yeah. No, yeah,
Yeah.
he's been doing it for a long 50 years of being out there. So
He
yeah,
sure has. I know people like know him for like, being in Rocky, Apollo Creed and
of
stuff. I
course,
never
yeah.
was like a Rocky fan, but I just knew him from like Predator and
Hmm.
Action Jackson and, all of his TV uh shows that he did and movies, etc.
Yeah.
Yes. So, all right, you ready for the next one?
All right.
All right, all right, all right, all right. This is finish a lyric of a song.
Okay.
All right. Finish this Bootsy Collins lyric. I want to hold your hand. Oh, if I can just be your man. And I want to be your.
Your sugar daddy.
I'm screaming. Let me redo it. Let me say, okay. I want I want to hold your hand. Oh, if I could, I can't sing like Bootsy, but like I want
Oh,
to hold your hand. Oh, if I can, just be your man. I want to be your friend.
I want to be your friend. Well, this is tough because I don't know any Bootsy Collins song. I know Bootsy Collins, playing the bass or saying, "Yeah, baby, hey, sugar mama like," talking like that.
That
Ah,
that's o-
I'm
that's
not gonna
okay.
get this one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's okay. That's okay. Is to finish it off is like I want to be your friend, not now and then, but I will till the end.
Okay,
I
till the
want
end.
to be with you. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, I see. If you
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
would have sang it, I
Yeah,
would have.
I wanna be with you. Do 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 do.
If you
I
would have
know
sang it, I
me.
probably would have got it. I know that
Yeah, I
part.
know me. Yeah, I know me and my monotone voice.
No, but what you just did would have worked. I'm like, if it was like name that tune and then you played it, I probably would have got the. I probably would have
I
still got it. I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
I would have. I should have thrown in a little bit of my DJness and everything because I've been DJing for like 3 years now, about 2 3
Yeah.
years now. So I should have been, because I DJ also. So I was just
Oh, okay.
but then again, I'm like, let me mess people up just saying that I want to be with you. Not like singing. I'm like, I want you to guess it. I want you to guess
Oh man.
Now, this fourth question gonna take a little bit of like deep thought. Okay, I want you to
Okay.
think on this. Okay, so this is like about your movie also.
Okay.
So if you had these characters in a battle of like horror icons, horror villains, who would win? Man or Freddy Krueger?
Oh, I think I don't know if they'll be able to fight because I don't think Shush Man sleeps. But Shush Man shows up every blood moon though. So when he do show up, um, yeah, but Shush Man don't sleep. He's kind of like he's kind of like he's like he's in. I don't know if Freddy has a conscience because
Mhm.
Shush Man is in people's heads. So and yeah, obviously he journeys into other people's mind. Like, well, he was possessed. He got into Harold, and then he Harold was the body because in some ways Shush Man is a shadow.
Mhm.
Um, so I think Freddy will. You know what? Freddy's one of my favorite villains. I think Freddy will find a. Freddy got too much of a resume, and he'll find a way to take them. He'll take them. He'll take them red eyes. And say lights out, and then fuck 'em up.
So you think Shush Man ain't gonna like just
Oh no, Shush Man get his ass whooped by Freddy.
oh
I ain't
man,
even count.
you supposed to rep the Shush Man. You supposed to be like,
Yeah,
he like the new kid on the block, but I feel because he be in people's heads and stuff.
yeah.
While Freddy, he really like travels through dreams. You supposed to
No, I
come
know.
on, man.
But here's the thing: I don't own the IP of Shush Man, so I think I love Freddie. I think Freddie will mess him up.
Freddie just beat the brakes off his ass. Just
Oh
beat the
yeah,
brakes.
yeah. Them red lights that go black, he go dark. He's they're done. Yep, there you go. He'll take them scissors. He'll take them knives and just like uh,
Like,
I'm gonna take the red eye.
prime
Yeah.
time, bitch.
Just grab my ass, bitch.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh Lord have mercy.
Yep. So no, but
Oh, gonna make me
no,
choke.
well, you cracking me up too. So no, it's yeah. So no, Freddie's my Freddie's my guy. So it's like Shush Man got a lot of work to do in order to compete with that. You know, so
Okay. Good,
but
good, good, good call. Good
But
call.
I will, but I will say is the overall. I had a Freddie marathon,
Mm-hmm.
and man, Freddie's dead, man. I watched that movie. When Freddie started getting comedic and stuff, I was just kind of like, man. I always have to go back to watching the first one because I was just like, man, this is they
Yeah,
need
mom.
if I'm not a huge fan of reboots and restarts, and I
Mm-hmm.
get because it's it's a money thing because Halloween was a $100,000 movie that's $1 billion industry now. But if they were to if they were to reboot A Nightmare on Elm Street, I would be curious to see how they would make that. And if somebody came to me and say, I want you to reboot Nightmare on Elm Street, 'cause that's one of my favorite franchises and villains and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. There's a certain way I would try to do it. And I would definitely, I mean, it's always been a psychological thing because of
Yeah.
nightmares and dreams and stuff like that. But I definitely would get extra artsy and weird on that. I think you can do it. I think you could play with a lot of things when it comes to that franchise more than just Jason and Michael Myers and slashing type thing. So
Yeah, that's the reason why my mom um she loved Freddy Krueger, and it
Yeah.
because she's like he's psychological, and he
Hmm.
plays with you before he ends you.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I was like, "Do you like Jason?" She's like, "No, Jason really just ain't got no damn purpose. He just go and just kill
Yeah.
motherfuckers, and
Yeah.
that's it."
Yeah.
She didn't like that, and she was not like really like a huge horror fan because they scared her a lot, but
Yeah.
it was just something about Freddy Krueger that she gravitate towards, and she loved all his movies except for like some there was a couple when he got too comedic and she was like,
Mm,
I don't care about it. But I was noticed, I was like, wow, she's like really a big Wes Craven fan because she loved Vampire in Brooklyn.
yeah.
I love that movie too.
Yeah.
And Wishmaster, oh my gosh, she
Yeah.
loved Wishmaster.
Yeah.
But
Underrated. That's super underrated. Yeah.
very
Remember
underrated. I
Dreamscape?
love Wishmaster.
You know Dreamscape?
I've heard of it before.
Yeah. It's on Tubi. Check that one out. That was back in 80. I think that came out before, a little bit before the first Nightmare on Elm Street with
Okay.
Dennis Quaid. Yeah, Dreamscape.
Oh yeah, I remember that because it was
Yeah.
like some movies that I've watched when I was a kid,
Hmm.
and I just didn't know the title. Like it was a
Yeah.
movie called Phenomenal, and it had Jennifer Connelly. She like was this chick that like she had like telekinesis, like she can control
Oh yeah.
everything. And so when I watched it and I was like, okay, it's not like clicking until the end where it was this little boy had these damn maggots and shit coming out of his face and stuff. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, and I was like, oh, okay, I remember this movie when I was a kid, and that part scared the crap out of me. I
Yeah.
just didn't know what the name was the
Right.
movie, the title of it, until I seen the little boy. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking about, the one with Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that because
Yeah. I
I
watched it a
love
while
80s
ago.
horrors. I love
Mhm.
80s horrors. I put an S
Yeah.
on. You know how black folks, so we always put an S on something like Walmart, Kmart's, and all that. Put an S on everything, and it doesn't have like Walmart doesn't have an S. Walmart's. My grandma did that too. I was like, it doesn't have an S. But
Yeah.
yeah, 80s horror movies, like I'm like really digging it because I grew up on it.
Mhm.
Um, I know people like, there's like one part of my podcast I was talking about how I was in kindergarten around in '83, and that's when Christine came out. And so
Yeah.
for show and tell, I was sitting there telling everybody about Christine.
Oh man. Yeah, it's a different set because I have a brother who's 10 years older than me, so it's a different mindset watching,
Hmm.
Friday the 13th Part 6 when you're 7 years old. And, and my oldest kid is on 6. So
Hmm.
yeah, the stuff I watched when I was 6, yeah, I can't. That's one out. One, he can't handle it, and two, I'm not gonna. Yeah, it was just a different mindset in the '80s when watching horror movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really was a different mindset. I know when
yeah,
my son he seen uh Army of Darkness, and
yeah,
he was like around 3 years old. So
yeah,
he did the whole scene of this here is my boomstick, and I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. So he did the whole, this here is my boomstick, like listen up, you
yeah,
primitive spearheads. He just did the whole scene. And my daughter, at the time she was like around 11 or 12. My kids
yeah.
are like 8 years apart. We just could not do nothing but cry. I mean, we were falling off
Oh
the
man,
bed. And
yeah,
he did the whole action of like he was Bruce Campbell.
yeah,
And it was so funny. It was so funny what he did. But
yeah. That's
he was
awesome.
very sad, because he wanted to meet Bruce Campbell, and of course we went to Dallas, and I think they had like the 3 rows that could go see Bruce Campbell, get
Hmm.
his autograph and stuff. And he was like kind of way in the back, and he started crying. I was like, oh my gosh. And the guy at the time I was dating, he like calmed him down. I was like, oh my God, this melts my heart. But he loved Bruce. He's still a big Bruce Campbell fan. I
Yeah,
think he's close to 17. My son is. He's close to
yeah,
17. He's not kind of like going in through his rap goth metal phase. I
yeah.
was like, well, gets it from his
That's like,
mom.
yeah. I'm not at that place yet with phases, so I know it's coming
it
some way.
it's different, bro. It's different, and you're just
Yeah,
like, yeah, it's a trip. I'm
yeah.
telling you, and he's my last one, and I'm gonna tell you, they still gonna be asking you for money.
Oh yeah, of course. That's why I just put money in their piggy banks, and then eventually it rises up and say, "All right, here you go. Leave me alone." No, I'm just I mean, I love I love my kids, so regardless, hopefully they giving me money. I'm trying to have them strive for greatness and do. I said don't be a musician because ain't no money in it.
Yeah, that's what I tell them. Like,
But
y'all need to bust me out some money too. I'm
yeah,
like, shoot.
yeah,
Oh gosh.
awesome.
All right, ready for the last question?
Yeah,
'Cause they might throw you off and everything. This is just random as shit.
okay.
All right. Do caterpillars sneeze?
Do caterpillars sneeze? They honestly they probably don't sneeze in their nose. It might sneeze
Where do you
somewhere
think
else.
they
I don't
sneeze
know.
at?
That's an interesting question.
Where do you think they
Now
sneeze
I got to
at?
look into it. Yeah, caterpillars. I do it. I think everything sneezes. I think everything get dust and certain things caught up in them. It's just I guess it's just a matter of how it happens.
Well, how come we can't hear them when they sneeze?
I don't even know how they sound breathing. Like I'm not around enough caterpillars to even know. But if I see one, I'm just gonna one of those magnifying glasses and look at their nose. I'm assuming they got like I don't know, probably got like some interesting nostrils or something. That Oh yeah,
Um,
that did throw me off. I don't know. I think everything sneezes. It's just a matter of yeah, but you know what though? Yeah, I think I heard my cat sneeze maybe 2 or 3 times in her 5 years of existence. So yeah, I mean, I think everything sneezes in some kind of way. It's just a matter of what, how.
I just wonder, like, what, like, is it like a big ass chew if you like put a microphone up to the caterpillar? Like, can you sneeze for us? Yes, I can. Oh, hold on, let me get some dust.
Yeah, we
Okay,
just
like,
get grab one, get some pepper and like blow it into her face, and then see what happens. Hopefully, if they explode, I'm not sharing that video. But
yeah, we're not doing that right there. But yeah,
yeah,
I ponder about like nature and the things that like we really just don't think about. Do caterpillars sneeze?
yeah,
Do like do kangaroos have a belly button?
yeah,
Things like that. What do fish
yeah.
think about us? Like
Well, see,
these
that's why
stuff.
we have Google. Now I'm gonna Google that, and
I just want to.
and usually got videos of stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. But I just wanted to just ask direct questions to whatever I'm thinking. Like I
Yeah,
want to ask a real hey caterpillar, what's up? Do y'all sneeze? I just want to hear like the answer from a caterpillar,
yeah,
not Google. I just want to like talk to a real life caterpillar.
yeah. If you talk to a person and they talk to you back, then that's there you go. That's something
They
special. Yeah,
Yeah, like I'll be like some old Dr. Doolittle shit right there. I'll be like, wait a minute, did this caterpillar Dr. Pitt?
yeah.
I'm like, I will not let nobody know that I can talk to animals. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep it to
Yeah,
myself.
yeah. 'Cause they'll totally corrupt it and be like, oh, okay, let's make some money off of this. Yeah.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for being a
Uh,
part of the Random Horror Show. And wow, this has been a this is very interesting. I love it. I love it. I love your
Thank you so much.
energy. I love just just everything of what we just talked about. And I really do appreciate you just coming in and just like taking your time with me. And also drop your socials, let everybody know where they can find you, follow you, everything else. And you take it away, Mr. Shern.
All
I should
right.
say Harold.
Well, I appreciate you for inviting me here. This has been a I love that you're here supporting independent filmmakers, especially in the horror genre. And yeah, this is an honor for me. To be on your show. So yeah, I have my social. If you want to check out some Smile Rock, have a good time, you can check out invisiblecartoons.com. You can go on invisiblecartoons.com, facebook.com/invisiblecartoon. That's where we mostly navigate. Instagram. When it comes to me as a filmmaker, Kissing Castle Productions. Facebook.com/Kissing Castles. The website will be coming up in the next couple of months, so I'll be posting that, putting that out there. I'm working on my new movie called Vic Effects, starring Amanda Winston, who was in Evil Lurks, Bill D. Russell, who was also in Evil Lurks, and Jason Magniskis, who was also in Evil Lurks. So those are three main people. So that movie's gonna be, we're shooting that right now. Executive producer is John Magniskis, and you know Dan Michael Jetrick, because he didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
introduce me to you. So he's one of the executive producers of that movie. That movie is about a Foley artist. Foley artist is a person who makes sound effects for horror movies. So this
Mm-hmm.
person makes horror movie, sound effects for horror movies. But one thing leads to another with this movie she's working on, and all these things start coming into her reality. So that's the next movie after Evil Lurks. I got this movie called Vic Effects. So this is, and we talked about, we're making a lot of fake movies within the real
Mm-hmm.
movie. She's working on sound effects for these movies. So when we talked about Thanksgiving, it's the kind of same setup. So I'm going to be building fake trailers, fake posters for these fake movies we're putting into the real movie. We will be starting a crowdfund sometime mid spring to help out with post production. But that this I'm trying to, I got a little budget, not a lot of budget,
Okay.
but I got a little budget for this movie, so it's a little bit more grandiose. Still simple, but a little bit more bigger, a little bit other things we're doing, practical effects up the wazoo, a little CGI here and there. So that's what I'm working on. So I'm hoping to come back on your show, hopefully in the next 6-7 months, and then I can plug that movie. But I appreciate you.
I got you. I
Yeah.
got you, boo. I got you, Chris. I got you. I'm excited for I'm like really, and I seen the trailer for it, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I
Like,
was like,
yeah, it's chaotic. It's gonna be it's some things going on. So yeah. I think it's a movie for everyone, because we have slasher, gothic, folk horror, psychological horror.
okay.
We got all kinds of we got some craziness going on. Sci-fi, apocalyptic horror, we got all that stuff. So we got a movie for everybody to check out.
I'm sugar because you got me with like gothic and then
Oh yeah, yeah.
sci-fi.
We got a vampire. We got a vampire in a romantic relationship with a cyborg. That's one of the movies.
Yo, this shit fucking sound wild, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, we putting on. We. It's still a low micro budget film, but we have so many creative people that's like locked into what we're trying to do. We're trying to make the best. We're trying to make the best independent movie we possibly can with this. We're being ambitious. I'm gonna put it out there. We're being bold as hell with what we're trying to do. I think it's a different vibe. It's not your
Mm-hmm.
typical this and that with a horror movie. So we putting all these things together, and you know, we're doing a crowd fund, so we want people to be a part of what we're trying to do. So we'll, you know, you'll be seeing Kissing Castles lurking. You'll see Kissing Castles lurking around the internet, talking about Vic effects and bringing that to the forefront. And we will put this movie in theaters, guaranteed. So yeah, it's a lot of things behind the scenes. So I'm just gonna keep it at that. But yeah,
Oh
but
my
people like
God.
you that support us, that we need y'all help, and I'm very grateful that you put me on your show. So thank
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm just excited because what you just said, I'm just
you.
like my ADD, man, my ADD is like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a lot of
do?
stuff that's going on. So I'm ready for people to get on this ride with me. So
Nice,
yeah.
nice. And congratulations, like, to that right there. And your, like, newest like LP album, that's coming
Oh,
out also
Sci-Fi
with,
Disco Carnival. Yeah,
what was it called?
Sci-Fi Disco Carnival.
That's it, Sci-Fi
Yeah,
Disco Carnival.
yeah,
That is a lot to say.
yeah.
Sci-Fi Disco Carnival. Sci-Fi Disco
If,
Carnival.
if people start
Sci-Fi
making it
Disco.
into an initial, we made it.
Oh gosh, thank you so much, man.
Thank
Like
you,
you've been like a freaking blast and everything.
thank you.
And everybody, go check out Chris. You got his socials and stuff. And also hit me up on IG at the Random Horror Show, on Instagram, Facebook, and now on YouTube. Okay, because I'm now
Yeah.
showing my face and everything. Because I was trying
Hey,
to be
get her
like all
monetized.
mysterious.
Yeah, get her monetized. Y'all support. Watch the show, subscribe, get her monetized. We need all you
Oh
filmmakers out here. Y'all watch it. Get her monetized because she's the key to what we're trying to do. So yeah, let's get it. I'm gonna plug you.
man, don't be making me cry on my
Ah,
show.
nah, we got to get you monetized. We're gonna do it. Appreciate you.
Let me get my composure. Let me get the darkness. Get my darkness in there. Okay, there now the darkness. All right, I'm back to normal. All right. Anyways, and also if you want me to review a movie or anything, even literature, or you are a horror writer, musician, filmmaker, you are more than welcome to contact me. That's going to be the random horror show at gmail.com. And thank you all for listening with y'all wonderful little, just super awesome little spooky little ears. And we are going to peace out. I'm Keisha Lacey, and this is the Random Horror Show.